from Watkins Glen, New York. This is the 1980 Toyota Grand Prix of the United States. For the 22nd time, the world's finest Formula One drivers battled for the checkered flag on one of the world's toughest racetracks. This program is brought to you by Toyota, who invites you to see all the 1981 cars and trucks at your local Toyota dealers. Oh, what a feeling to drive a Toyota. And by Valvoline, all kinds of weather, all kinds of driving. Valvoline is the motor oil that's not just for winning races.
Hi, everybody, from Watkins Glen, New York. I'm Don Earl, your host for this afternoon's 22nd annual Toyota U.S. Grand Prix from Watkins Glen, New York. This would have been the final race, is the final race, but would have been the run for the World Drivers' Championship had not Alan Jones nailed that down in the Canadian Grand Prix up in Quebec. However, there's a lot of stories this afternoon as over 70,000 fans are on hand on a cool autumn day to view the running of this afternoon's Grand Prix from Watkins Glen. And to tell us about some of those other stories in this afternoon's race is Anthony Marsh, International Grand Prix race announcer. And Anthony, Alan Jones is this year's 1980 championship driver, but a lot of other stories are unfolding in the pits for this afternoon's race.
Yeah, the big story, of course, is Bruno Giacomelli on the pole for the first time in his career. This young Italian has been steadily developing his own driving in the Marlboro Alfa Romeo car, and at last they've got it on the pole, the biggest thing that's happened to them. And the other thing is Nelson Piquet, who so nearly got the World Championship. He just lost out in Canada last week, but he's on the front row alongside Bruno Giacomelli, and he so wants to win this race. If he couldn't have the championship, at least he'd like to win the last race in the series. But Alan Jones wants to crown his championship with a win here. He's on the third row, but I've seen Alan win from further back than that. So I think those are the things to watch for especially.
Okay, and we'll be talking with Anthony Marsh, and he'll be talking with drivers later on in the show. And right now, let's go to Paul Mann, who'll be calling all of the exciting racing action from Watkins Glen.
Thank you, Don. We've got 24 cars going into the Toyota Grand Prix of the United States this afternoon. The race will be 200 miles long, 59 laps of this 3.37-mile circuit. 11 turns to the lap, many changes of gear, a very difficult course for the best Grand Prix drivers.
We'll be back with the lineup of the 1980 Toyota Pro Celebrity Race right after these messages.
Need your help. Is it me or my 1981 Toyota Corolla? Watch. See what I mean? I know Corolla looks like a million, got plenty of style, not to mention a peppy 1.8-liter engine. But I ask you, is it me or my Toyota Corolla?
Give me a ride to the library?
Tell me, was it me or my Toyota Corolla?
Oh, 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 what a feeling!
Your Corolla!
Toyota!
This is Paul Mann back at Watkins Glen with a lineup for the Toyota Pro Celebrity Race. Gene Hackman, movie actor and Academy Award winner. Dan Gurney, retired American road racing champion. Paul Williams, songwriter and Oscar winner. Monique St. Pierre, Playboy Playmate of the Year. Elio De Angelis, Italian Grand Prix driver. Mark Zurer, Swiss Grand Prix star. Robert Hayes, star of the hit movie Airport. Craig Breedlove, world land speed record holder. Gary Gabelich, rocket car pilot. Parnelli Jones, former Indianapolis winner. Kent McCord, star of Battlestar Galactica. Brock Yates, motoring journalist and author. Jan Lammers, Dutch Grand Prix star. Michael Andretti, son of Mario Andretti. Keke Rosberg, Grand Prix driver from Finland. Pete Conrad, Apollo astronaut. Johnny Rutherford, three-time Indianapolis champion. And not shown, Larry Wilcox, star of television's Chips, in number 16. The field of 18 cars moves away from the grid for its pace lap. This event, 10 laps long, professional drivers versus celebrity drivers. The grid was determined by time practice runs under a special handicap starting system, which provides each driver, regardless of qualifying time, a chance for the overall victory. In the celebrity division, Monique St. Pierre, Robert Hayes, Pete Conrad, and Michael Andretti. The pace car leading the field around now. 10-lap event, just under 34 miles. $45,000 purse provided by Valvoline and Toyota. On the front row, on the inside, number 2, Bob Hayes. On the outside, number 1/2. There you see it going by, Paul Williams. In the second row on the inside, number 15, Brock Yates. Also in the second row, number 16, Larry Wilcox. Number 20 is Monique St. Pierre. Number 14, Kent McCord. Number 12, Michael Andretti. Number 9, Pete Conrad. Number 6, Gene Hackman. The pace car moves off to the right, and the field is off. Bob Hayes immediately jumps into the lead on the left-hand side. Paul Williams dragging him down the pit straightaway as they head for turn 1. Larry Wilcox is third. Michael Andretti is fourth. Williams trying to hang on to the lead, moving to the left. Bob Hayes nips him around on the outside. Bob Hayes takes the lead as they jump away from the green flag. Bob Hayes in number 2, leading Paul Williams. Wilcox darting to the right, trying to move up on Williams on the inside for second. He can't quite make it as the cars now flash through the difficult chicane area. Hayes still leading. They bump the curve. Williams is still second in number 1/2. Wilcox third in number 16. Fourth, Michael Andretti in number 12. Here's your leader, Bob Hayes in number 2. Paul Williams right on his tail in the number 1/2 green Toyota. Up the hill now and along the straightaway, the fastest part of the Glen circuit, about 2/3 of a mile long. They'll touch well over 100 miles an hour here. Celebrity versus pro drivers. Bob Hayes doing a terrific job in his debut here at Watkins Glen, still holding off Paul Williams. But Paul is hanging on tightly for second place. Here comes Michael Andretti on the inside, trying hard to pass Williams. Can't quite make it as they head down into the Anvil. A new extension on the circuit. About a mile long. There you see Andretti and Williams, neck and neck. Williams holding off Andretti. He's blocked behind Hayes. Hayes still leading in number 2. Williams second in number 1/2. Andretti third in number 12. Wilcox in fourth in number 16. The rest of the field completing the tour through the Anvil. A difficult roller coaster portion of the circuit. Here's your leader once again, Bob Hayes, number 2. Andretti right on top of him. The first 4 cars very tightly bunched. There's Hayes still leading. We've got a celebrity leading the race and an amateur at that. Andretti moving up on Hayes, can't quite take him. Hayes driving very cannily, leading in number 2. Andretti second in number 12. Paul Williams is still third in number 1/2. You hear the brakes screeching as they head down into the final turns, 10 and 11. Will Hayes lead the first lap? Let's see. The brake lights flash on. Hayes and Andretti. Hayes and Andretti. Here they come by the start-finish line. And Hayes is still hanging on. Andretti moving to the right. Andretti dragging Hayes to the next turn. Andretti looks to be about by. Let's see if he can take the lead. Hayes braked fractionally earlier than Andretti, and Andretti takes the lead. Michael Andretti, son of 1978 world champion Mario Andretti, takes the lead as they complete the first lap of the Pro Celebrity race. Michael Andretti, only 17 years old, and already he's taken the lead in this Pro Celebrity event. Bob Hayes is still second. Paul Williams goes off in the chicane. Paul Williams flies off the course in the chicane in number 1/2. He'd only completed 1 1/4 laps, and Paul Williams is out of the race, having slammed into the catch fence, bounding over the curds. Here he is. The course marshal's run now to make sure he's okay. The door opens. It appears Williams will escape the car under his own power and is uninjured. Paul Williams, who drove very, very professionally indeed in that first lap, unwillingly relinquishing second place to Mario Andretti. Paul Williams is out of the race, drove straight off to the right through the chicane. Completely misjudged it. There's Larry Wilcox spinning in the beginning of the anvil in number 16. He recovers quickly, however. He's returned to the race. Now, an interview with Mario Andretti from Anthony Marsh.
You once told me that you had a great ambition left to win the Le Mans 24-hour race, possibly driving with Mike, your son.
Well, this we'll have to play by ear. We'll have to see how he develops, whether he really wants to pursue this, and looks like he does. Looks like he's very serious, but he has his education to complete, and I'm going to just let him get involved just enough to just to keep himself satisfied. And but 3 or 4 years down the road, I think we can talk about it. And if he does want to continue, if he does want to pursue this, and if I'm still active, naturally, I'd love to put something like that together.
Mario Andretti talking about his son Michael. There you see him in number 12. He's driving very hard indeed in the turns. And here is Pete Conrad, who has completely rolled his number 9 car. Pete Conrad, the astronaut, has rolled his car, turned it completely upside down in turn 11. And now they've turned it right backside up again. Conrad is okay. Pete Conrad is okay. They've decided to shorten the race. The checkered flag is out. And Michael Andretti is awarded victory in the Pro Celebrity race. Now down to the winner's circle.
Andretti is the winner. There's only one winner, and Doug Craik is going to present the winner's trophy to the celebrity winner.
Congratulations, you did a fine job.
We'll return for more World Championship racing after these messages.
When there's nothing but mud where the road used to be, and you feel like your car is working overtime, it's nice to have this gas-saving Toyota pulling for you. Introducing the 1981 front-wheel drive Toyota Corolla Tercel. The Toyota Tercel, a car that pulls its own weight.
And a little bit more.
Oh, what a feeling.
Tercel.
Toyota.
Here's the Grand Prix lineup. Jochen Mass of West Germany, winner of the 1975 Spanish Grand Prix. Jody Scheckter of South Africa, 1979 world champion and retiring after this race. Derek Daly of Dublin, Ireland, former Formula 3 champion, looking for his first Grand Prix victory. Jean-Pierre Jarier of France, driving in Formula 1 since 1971, a record holder here at Watkins Glen. Emerson Fittipaldi of Brazil, a two-time world champion, former Grand Prix winner here at the Glen. Riccardo Patrese of Italy, former Formula 3 European champion, only 26 years old. Eddie Cheever, American, 22 years old, driving in Formula 1 for the first year this year. Very quick. Gilles Villeneuve, French-Canadian, won here at the Glen last year in his Ferrari. Rupert Keegan, a British champion driver, has competed in Formula 1 since 1977. Keke Rosberg from Finland, third in Argentina, fifth at Italy this year. Very fast. Alain Prost of France, withdrawing today because of a practice injury. He'll be replaced by Dutchman Jan Lammers. Jacques-Henri Lafitte from France, winner of the 1980 German Grand Prix at Hockenheim. Mario Andretti, 1978 world champion, only the second American ever to win the championship, now 40 years old. Andrea De Cesaris of Italy. This is only his second Grand Prix, qualified 10th. John Watson, Irishman, 34 years old, sixth at Watkins Glen last year. Hector Rabaque of Mexico, sixth at the Canadian Grand Prix in Montreal. Didier Pironi of France, winner of the 1980 Belgian Grand Prix and third here at the Glen last year. Alan Jones, the new 1980 world champion from Australia, winner of 4 Grand Prix this year. René Arnoux of France, driving the only turbocharged car in this race, winner of 2 Grand Prix in the Renault Elf. Carlos Reutemann of Argentina, two-time Glen Grand Prix winner, won Monaco this year. Elio De Angelis of Italy, teammate to Mario Andretti in the Lotus team. Nelson Piquet of Brazil, nearly world champion this year, won 3 Grand Prix. And finally, Bruno Giacomelli of Italy, fastest qualifier here at the Glen for the first time in his career. And there's Jan Lammers in the number 14 Unipart Ensign, making his way toward the rear of the grid. As we said, he'll replace Alain Prost. You saw the guard starting gantry. There's Giacomelli. The field is away. Giacomelli darting to his left to position himself for the first 90-degree right-hander. Piquet right behind him. There's a lot of jostling in the back, a lot of dust being thrown up. And Alan Jones has gone off on the right-hand side of the circuit, as have Andrea De Cesaris and René Arnoux. Giacomelli quickly taking the lead as they flash through the chicane. Jones, who started from 5th position, has now fallen back to 14th place. There's the leader, Giacomelli. Second is Nelson Piquet in number 5. Here come your leaders, Giacomelli and Piquet. Giacomelli in the number 23 Marlboro Alfa Romeo. Nelson Piquet right behind him in the number 5 Parmalat Brabham. Bad luck for Alan Jones in the first turn in the 90 as he skated off the track, and that may have damaged his skirts. He may not be able to continue in the race. We'll have to wait and see. In any case, he's got a long drive ahead of him if the car is undamaged. Giacomelli getting off to a splendid start, although he overshot the line just a little bit. Piquet suffered from wheel spin. There they are, 1 and 2. Giacomelli leading in number 23. This is the first time that this Italian driver has led a Grand Prix. Starting from pole position, he qualified at a time of just over 1 minute and 33 seconds. This race will be just under, I should say, 200 miles. Giacomelli clipping the verge there, completing the first lap. Second is Nelson Piquet. Third is Carlos Reutemann in number 28. He's the teammate of Alan Jones in the Saudi Leyland Williams. Fourth is Didier Pironi in number 25. Fifth is Elio De Angelis in number 12. Sixth is Rabaque in number 6. Seventh is Watson in number 7. In 8th is Jacques Lafitte. 9th is Mario Andretti. Here again is your leader, Bruno Giacomelli, in the V12 Alfa Romeo. This is the first time this car has led a race. Bruno paying tribute to his tragically killed teammate Patrick Depailler in the German Grand Prix this year. The leader's already drawing away. Giacomelli and Nelson Piquet. Piquet looking for his 4th Grand Prix victory of this 1980 season. He just barely lost the championship in Canada at Montreal. Along this straightaway now, the speeds are getting up to 170 miles an hour. These cars are particularly fast in the corners. Very, very fast cornering speeds because of their aerodynamic ground effects. They maintain a vacuum underneath the car, and that makes them very fast through the turns. A crowd of 70,000 watching this race. Giacomelli leading it beautifully, hasn't made a mistake yet. Very difficult for a new driver to lead a Grand Prix for the first time, and especially when he's being harried by someone as experienced as Nelson Piquet. The weather here at Watkins Glen is cool, overcast, perfect racing weather. Giacomelli now in his third lap, nipping through the chicane. A tight right-left. A choke point to slow the cars down before they head on the straightaway. This straightaway is a 2% grade uphill, about 2/3 of a mile long. Giacomelli and Piquet pulling away from the field. Reutemann is still third, Pironi fourth, D'Angelis fifth, Rebecca sixth, Watson seventh, Lafitte eighth, Andretti ninth, Keegan is 10th. Alan Jones has moved up into 9th. Alan Jones has moved from 14th to 9th place. So apparently Jones' car was not damaged when he skated off turn 1 at the start of the race. We may see a tigering drive now from Alan Jones as he tries to regain the distance he lost when he got involved in a melee at the beginning of the event. Here's the leader, Bruno Giacomelli, 27 years old, born 10 September 1952. This is the first time he's even led a Grand Prix, much less won one. He's still being followed very closely by Piquet, but Piquet is watching and waiting. He's not really pushing hard on Bruno Giacomelli. We'll be back with more racing from the Glen after this timeout.
Hi, my name's Jerry. We're identical twins.
Well, almost.
I like this 1981 Toyota truck because it's tough.
I like this 1981 Toyota truck because it's low price.
She always likes a bargain.
And he always likes to be tough.
Look, I see my sister's point. For the money, this truck is hard to beat.
And I see my brother's point. A truck should be tough, like a Toyota.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Mr. Macho.
Oh, 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 what a feeling.
Tough deal.
Toyota.
Paul Mann back to the action here at the Glen. There you see the Marlboro Alfa Romeo of Andrea De Cesaris of Italy. He's just retired from the race after colliding with the Candy Tyrrell of Derek Daly. Andrea De Cesaris, in only his second Grand Prix, driving up the backside of Derek Daly. And there you see Derek Daly walking dejectedly away from his car. Both cars out of the race, cars number 4 and 22. The leader still Bruno Giacomelli, driving a beautiful drive on a lovely, cool autumn day here at Watkins Glen. Giacomelli in the number 23, Marlboro Alfa Romeo, has led this race from the beginning. Second is Nelson Piquet in number 5. Giacomelli, an Italian, leading his Grand Prix for the first time. This is the first time he's led a Grand Prix, the first time that he started from pole position. There you see the Candy Tyrrell of Jean-Pierre Jarier, number 3, in the pits with spark box problems. JARIER having ignition problems. Back to the leader, Bruno Giacomelli, driving number 23 Marlboro Alfa Romeo. Second, Nelson Piquet of Brazil. Giacomelli seeking his first Grand Prix victory. Nelson Piquet his fourth of the 1980 Grand Prix season. Giacomelli has about a 3-second lead over Piquet. Third is Carlos Reutemann in number 28. Fourth is Didier Pironi. Pironi driving a Ligier Giton. Fifth is Elio De Angelis in a Lotus. Sixth, John Watson in a McLaren. Seventh, Alan Jones. Alan Jones driving up through the field, having fallen back to 14th place after a first lap, first turn incident. And he's climbing steadily and almost certainly will be threatening for the lead. It will be interesting to see if Alan Jones can fight his way back up to behind Bruno Giacomelli. Right now, everything running like clockwork on Giacomelli's number 23 Marlboro Alfa Romeo. Giacomelli drove in Formula 3 racing before he came to Formula 1. He made his Formula 1 debut in 1978 for McLaren in the British Grand Prix, where he finished 7th. He drove this Alfa Romeo car at the end of 1979 in its debut with a V12 engine. He did not finish here at the Glen last year because of a first lap accident. So far, he's been driving away from the field with the exception of Nelson Piquet of Brazil. Giacomelli captured pole time with 1 minute 33.29 seconds, 130.315 miles per hour, a new race record here at Watkins Glen, and he accomplished that feat in spite of the fact that there are 13 new patches of track, new patches of tarmac on this 3.37 mile circuit. So in some places it's very smooth and very slippery. Nevertheless, Bruno Giacomelli has set a new lap record and has led this race from the beginning. There you see him once again flashing down the pit straightaway, a short squirt where they get up to about 150 miles per hour and then head into a very hard right 90-degree turn. There you see the third place car, Carlos Reutemann. Fourth is Didier Pironi. Fifth, Elio De Angelis. There's Pironi, followed by De Angelis. René Arnoux, number 16 Renault, is also having a great afternoon. He fell back after that first turn incident as well. He's driven from 20th to 14th place in just 10 laps. There you see Piquet lapping Jarier's Candy-Tiro. Candy is an Italian domestic appliance manufacturer. Reutemann getting by him now. Jarier, as we said, has been having ignition problems. Bruno Giacomelli still leading, going through the anvil. One of the more difficult parts of the course. In this natural amphitheater, excellent for spectating, as the cars double back on themselves. Nelson Piquet there, the number 5 Parmalat Brabham. Parmalat, not the name of the car. Parmalat, an Italian dairy products manufacturer. The car is a Brabham, an English-made car. There's number 6, Hector Rabaque in the pits. He's got an engine problem. He's also had some tire changes today. Bruno Giacomelli, leading the 1980 Toyota Grand Prix of the United States. He's led it since lap 1. No one else at this point is threatening him, although should he have problems, Nelson Piquet is lying in wait at number 5. Alan Jones still moving up through the field. Jones was 9th on lap 3, 8th on lap 4, 8th on lap 8. He's jockeying now with John Watson for 7th position. Giacomelli with about a 4.5-second lead. And there you see Riccardo Patrese, who has crashed into the catch fencing. Patrese is trapped in his number 29 Warsteiner Arrows. He's trying desperately to get out of the car as a marshal cuts him out. The drivers ask for the catch fencing as a safety measure to slow the cars down when they leave the track, but sometimes they get wound up in this chicken wire like catch fencing. Riccardo Patrese still trapped in his number 29 Warsteiner Arrows. There you see the second and third place cars, Nelson Piquet and Carlos Reutemann lapping Emerson Fittipaldi. Piquet and Reutemann, I beg your pardon, they lap Keke Rosberg in the number 21 Skol Fittipaldi. That's the second place car, number 5, Nelson Piquet. A battle going on for second place. Reutemann closing hard on Piquet. Reutemann would like to earn his 3rd Grand Prix victory here at Watkins Glen. He won here in 1978 for Ferrari and 1974 for Brabham. And Ricardo Patrese is out of his car. Patrese's out of his car. More racing from the Glen after this timeout.
Oh, Chester, a lady in my condition would like an automatic.
A bank account in our condition needs high gas mileage.
Introducing a car that'll fit you to a T. The 1981 Toyota Celica ST. It's the highest mileage 4-speed overdrive automatic you can buy, and the lowest priced.
This fits me.
And me. We to a T. Automatic savings.
Back to the dramatic action here at Watkins Glen. You just saw Nelson Piquet flash by your screen, chased heavily by Carlos Reutemann and Didier Pironi. A great battle going on for places 2nd through 5. Alan Jones has moved up through the field. He's now 5th behind Didier Pironi, and Piquet has spun out. Piquet in 2nd place has spun out and crashed into the catch fencing on turn 1. This has been a bad day for drivers in turn 1. Nelson Piquet in 2nd place, looking for his 4th Grand Prix victory, has retired involuntarily by spinning out on turn 1. No indication of what caused him to spin in his number 5 Parmalat Brabham. Nelson Piquet, the great Brazilian champion, unbelting himself, standing up in the cockpit, looking over the car to see if it's damaged. He's waving now to the track marshals, Piquet, winner this year of 3 Grand Prix at Long Beach, Zandvoort, and the Italian Grand Prix. And here come the marshals to help Piquet push the car. Let's see now if he's trying just to get it out of harm's way or whether he wants to rejoin the race. Now Alan Jones, of course, has moved up into 4th behind Didier Pironi. Carlos Reutemann, Jones's teammate, is there by 2nd, and Bruno Giacomelli continues to lead. Bruno Giacomelli has led in the number 23 Marlboro Alfa Romeo since the green flag fell. And there's Nelson Piquet getting a push from the course marshals. That's illegal, but of course immaterial at this point. Since he's lost so much time, it would be impossible to make a recovery. There's Piquet firing up his engine and moving back to the circuit very gingerly indeed. Nelson Piquet spinning on turn 1, losing his chance for a 2nd place and perhaps a victory here at the United States Grand Prix. Now you see him putting the power down. Side by side now, teammates Alan Jones and Carlos Reutemann. Jones taking 2nd place, nipping by Carlos as they head down into the anvil. Here's Alan Jones, the new 1980 world champion. He's now 2nd. He's driven from 14th place after spinning out in the 1st turn. He's about 5 seconds behind the leader, Bruno Giacomelli, in the Marlboro Alfa Romeo. Getting a little sideways there on that turn, recovering quickly. Alan Jones has won 4 Grand Prix this year. He wants to make the U.S. Grand Prix 5. Can he catch Bruno Giacomelli? There's the leader, Bruno Giacomelli. Can Alan Jones catch this car? The number 23 Marlboro Alfa Romeo. Remember that the Marlboro Alfa Romeo is a heavier car. Alan Jones's car, the Saudi ALAIN Williams, is much lighter. In fact, it's considered to be the lightest car in Grand Prix racing these days, with the possible exception of the Parmalat Brabham, which you saw Nelson Piquet spin out just a couple of laps ago. Giacomelli running a V12 engine. Alan Jones running a V8 engine. Alfa Romeo makes its own engine. Alan Jones is running a V8 Cosworth Ford. A Ford block prepared by a British concern called Cosworth. And Giacomelli is slowing dramatically. Giacomelli is pulling off. Giacomelli in the anvil has come to grief on the 31st lap. He's in the middle of his 32nd lap. He's going slower and slower. He appears to be coasting downhill now, and Alan Jones will take the lead. Heartbreak time for Bruno Giacomelli, retiring after 31.5 laps. And it appears he has no chance to rejoin the race. He's retired about half distance from the pits. It would be impossible for him to push back. He's lost too much time. And here we see our leaders, 1 and 2, the Saudi ALAINs of Alan Jones and Carlos Reutemann, about to lap Rupert Keegan in car number 50. Once again, the Saudi ALAIN Williams cars are running 1-2 in a Grand Prix. Keegan getting off into the dirt. Jones moving sharply and briskly to the right. The lap is back marker. Rupert Keegan lying 10th. Sandwiched between the Saudi ALAINs. So, a tremendous reversal in fortunes for Bruno Giacomelli. Alan Jones very, very lucky not to have damaged his car in that first turn excursion. There you see a very disappointed Giacomelli looking at the engine of his car, throwing his head back in disappointment. There's the leader, Alan Jones. Lady Luck is with him today, the number 27 Saudi ALAIN. Jones has about 27 laps to go. The race is a little bit better than half over. Alan Jones has the lead. Here he's lapping Gilles Villeneuve, the French-Canadian driver in the red Ferrari. Jones lapping the back cars very swiftly with no problem. Villeneuve, the winner here last year, in a car that's been much slower during the 1980 season. A superb and well-judged drive through the field, performed by Alan Jones. Driving from 14th to first place in just 31.5 laps, inheriting the lead from Bruno Giacomelli, and so, of course, unfortunately, we'll never know what would have been the outcome of a duel between these two. But nevertheless, you have to give Jones a great deal of credit for a well-timed charge. And here's the crew, the Saudi ALAIN crew with Frank Williams in the white hat and the visor. He's the genius behind this team, along with designer Patrick Head, Frank Durney. There's the leader, Alan Jones, in number 27. Sponsored by Saudi Airlines and the British manufacturing company Leyland. The leader is Alan Jones. Second is Carlos Reutemann. We'll have more racing from the Glen after this timeout.
Need your help. Is it me or my 1981 Toyota Corolla? Watch. See what I mean? I know Corolla looks like a million, got plenty of style, not to mention a peppy 1.8-liter engine. But I ask you, is it me or my Toyota Corolla?
Give me a ride to the library?
Tell me, was it me or my Toyota Corolla?
Oh, 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 what a feeling.
Your Corolla!
Toyota.
The Mislu Isolite shows us Alan Jones skittering off the course in turn 1 at the start of the 1980 U.S. Grand Prix, and this shows you just how close he came to losing all the marbles right here. Now we find him in the lead, having climbed up through the field after 32 laps, inheriting the lead from Bruno Giacomelli. And there he is, Alan Jones, the leader in number 27, the Saudi Leyland Williams. Just about to lap Mario Andretti, who's down in 6th position in number 11, the Team Essex Lotus. There they go down through the anvil. Alan Jones, the 1980 world champion, can pick off his 5th victory here. He's been the winner at Argentina, France, Brands Hatch in Britain, and at the Canadian Grand Prix. He was 2nd in Belgium, Austria, and Imola, 3rd at Brazil and Germany. He's had 3 pole positions this year. Alan Jones has had an excellent record of reliability, as has his teammate Carlos Reutemann, who is now 2nd in the Saudi Leyland number 28. Reutemann has finished in the points in every race in the last 9 races. There's the leader, Alan Jones, just about to lap Jochen Mass in number 30, the Warsteiner Arrows. Reutemann 2nd, right there. There he is, number 28. Lying 3rd is Didier Pironi in the Ligier Giton. 4th, Elio De Angelis, number 12, Team Lotus. 5th, John Watson in number 7. 6th, Jacques Laffite in number 26. Mario Andretti, the American champion, is now 7th. Mario Andretti, in number 11, is now 7th. Back to the leader, Alan Jones in the Saudi Leyland. You'll see the word Albalad painted on that car. Albalad is the name of the Royal Trading Company through which the royal family of Saudi Arabia carries out all of their business transactions. Overall, the car is sponsored by Saudi Airlines. You'll also see other strange names on the car, like Techniques Avant-Garde or TAG, T-A-G. This is a firm based in Paris. It deals in aviation and electronics. There you see the red car, the red Alfa Romeo, Bruno Giacomelli, up in the middle of your screen, off to the right. Just where he parked it after 31.5 laps, he retired with ignition problems. He lost all the electrics on that car after leading from the fall of the green flag. No one except Nelson Piquet had really challenged Bruno Giacomelli, and Piquet himself retired after a spin in turn 1. So the leaders, numbers 27 and 28, Alan Jones and Carlos Reutemann. Reutemann from Argentina, a 2-time winner of the U.S. Grand Prix, and if Alan Jones should retire for some reason, Carlos Reutemann, his teammate, would be right there to pick up the lead for him. Still 3rd, Didier Pironi of France, driving his last race for the Ligier Giton team. In 1981, he'll move over to Ferrari. Elio De Angelis is 4th, the Italian driver who also drove in the Pro Celebrity race. There you see the Candy Tyrrell being lapped by Alan Jones. The Candy Tyrrell number 3 of Jean-Pierre Jarier. Alan Jones lapping back markers now. Lying 8th, Gilles Villeneuve, whom Jones has already lapped. Villeneuve is 8th in his Ferrari, number 2. Rupert Keegan is 9th in number 50. Ladies and gentlemen, these Formula One cars you're watching are much different from the Indianapolis-type cars, which most American racing fans are used to watching on television. These cars are lighter, they're smaller, and they're less powerful, but they're more agile. They're designed for road circuits rather than for ovals. These cars weigh 1,265 pounds, which is only 1/3 or 1/4 of what your own personal car probably weighs. There you see a new lap record by Alan Jones, 134.198. He's not slowing down, even though he's established the lead. As we were saying, these cars are very light, only 1,265 pounds. The engines develop about 500 horsepower, depending on which engine you're talking about. The kind of engine that Alan Jones is racing here develops about 500 horsepower. It's 13 years old, but it's won 10 world championships and 135 races. It's called a Cosworth 4. Jochen Mass is out of the race. Jochen Mass has retired. The West German driver is out. He nearly didn't start this Grand Prix because of a neck injury he suffered at Austria. Here again the leader, Alan Jones, in the number 27, Saudi Leyland. Jones is leading. 2nd is Carlos Reutemann, his teammate, in number 28. Still lying third is Didier Pironi, the French driver, in number 25. Fourth, Elio De Angelis in number 12. Fifth is Jacques Laffite in number 26. Mario Andretti is sixth, but 1 lap behind. Mario Andretti, the great American champion, is in sixth position. John Watson has retired. John Watson, who had been lying fifth, has retired. And now to an Alan Jones interview with Anthony Marsh.
The resurfacing, has it made some improvement?
I think it's taken a few of the bumps off the apex of the corner, but the problem is there's still a bump now on the change of surface where they've resurfaced it.
So this makes the car a little bit difficult to control, does it?
Yeah, and plus the new surface is still a bit slippery.
What did Beverly say when you called her from Montreal and told her that she was married to the world champion?
She said, thank God for that, you'll be easier to live with now.
Alan Jones, the 33-year-old Australian, only the second man in history, only the second Australian in history to be world champion. Jack Brabham did it in 1959, 1960, and 1966, and Alan Jones has done it again in 1980, but he wants to notch up his 5th Grand Prix victory right here at Watkins Glen. Alan Jones got his start in kart racing in 1963 when he became Australian kart champ. Since then, he's been very competitive and very successful. He did not finish here at Watkins Glen in 1979, so victory here this year would be particularly sweet. Why? Well, because Alan Jones lost the right rear wheel nearly toward the end of the race last year, owing to faulty pit work by his team. It was a heartbreaking loss. He came into the pits to change tires. The right rear wheel was not attached tightly enough, and several hundred yards away from the pit, he lost the right rear wheel and the 1979 Glen Grand Prix victory. But now, barring some other unforeseen problem, it looks as if Alan Jones will be the 1980 Grand Prix victor in the United States Grand Prix, and it looks as if it will be a Saudi Leyland 1-2. Carlos Reutemann from Argentina, 2-time winner here at the Glen, is second in number 28, the companion car to Alan Jones's Saudi Leyland. Carlos Reutemann is 38 years old, 5 years older than his teammate. He was born April 12, 1942. Here we see the Saudi team in the pits, headed by Frank Williams, and the design staff of Patrick Head, Frank Gurney, and Neil Oakley. We were talking about Carlos Reutemann, who won the Monaco Grand Prix this year. He won the U.S. Grand Prix here at the Glen in 1974 and 1978, in a Brabham and a Ferrari, respectively. Reutemann did not finish here last year. He drove in a Lotus. He's been driving in Grand Prix racing since 1972, when he made his debut for the Brabham team. Reutemann has had an incredible reliability record this year. First, as we said, at Monaco. He was second at Germany and Canada. Third at Zolder, Brands Hatch, Austria, and Imola. Fourth at Zandvoort. Fifth in South Africa. Sixth in France. In fact, he has 10 career wins, and he's finished in his last 9 races. A superb tribute to the reliability of the Saudi Leyland Williams team. The Williams team, headquartered in England, but sponsored by Saudi Airlines, and also by British Leyland. Alan Jones leading, and we'll have more racing from the Glen after this timeout.
When there's nothing but mud where the road used to be, and you feel like your car is working overtime, it's nice to have this gas-saving Toyota pulling for you. Introducing the 1981 front-wheel drive Toyota Corolla Tercel. The Toyota Tercel, a car that pulls its own weight. And a little bit more.
Oh, what a feeling.
Tercel.
To the action here at Watkins Glen, poleman trackside, and Alan Jones leading in the number 27 Saudi Leyland Williams, looks set to capture his 5th Grand Prix victory of the 1980 season. He's led since the middle of the 31st lap and has never been headed. He inherited the lead after Bruno Giacomelli retired with electrical problems. Only Giacomelli and Alan Jones have led this U.S. Grand Prix. Second is Carlos Reutemann, Jones's teammate, in number 28. Third, Didier Pironi in number 25. Fourth, Elio De Angelis in number 12. Fifth, Jacques Lafitte in number 26. And sixth, America's own Mario Andretti, 1 lap down, but nevertheless looking to capture his first point in the 1980 World Championship tables. However, he's still in a tussle with René Arnoux of France in the Renault Elf, and the 6th place position is still in doubt. Down in 8th place, 2 laps behind, is Marc Surer of Switzerland in the ATS. In 9th position, Rupert Keegan in the British-made Ram Williams, and bringing up 10th, Jody Scheckter of South Africa, 3 laps down in his number 1 Ferrari, driving his last Grand Prix of his career here at Watkins Glen. There again, the leader, Alan Jones, racing by your screen, up through the chicane, up the hill, and down along the straightaway. He's closing in toward victory now in this 59-lap race. Here's an interview with Jody Scheckter and colleague Anthony Marsh.
Jody Scheckter, the 1979 world champion. This is your last race for Ferrari, your last Grand Prix. How much does it mean to you?
Well, I think it's... I think in one way it's the last race. I mean, it's a sentimental race for me, because in fact my first Grand Prix was here at Watkins Glen in '72, and now my last Grand Prix is here in Watkins Glen. And the thing is that I've won the world champion. I retired as world champion, but we've had a very bad season this year. And I would like, although I'm not doing well, I would like to end my career the same way as I started, doing very well, and because it's silly to work hard for 8 or 9 years and go out on a bad score. So I'm a bit disappointed we aren't doing better.
Jody Scheckter now lying in 10th place, 3 laps behind the leaders, driving his last race for Ferrari. As you heard him say, he drove his first race here at Watkins Glen in 1972. That year he was at the wheel of a McLaren, and he finished 9th in his Grand Prix debut. Jody Scheckter with 10 career wins in 111 starts. It's been a difficult season for him. His best placing of this year was only a 5th at Long Beach. He's qualified in the top 10 only twice, and he never qualified among the top 5 this year. Here again is the leader of the Toyota Grand Prix, Alan Jones, the new world champion from Australia. In the final few laps of this exciting event, he has about a 5-second advantage over his teammate Carlos Reutemann. Didier Pironi of France is 3rd, Elio De Angelis of Italy is 4th in his Lotus, 5th, Jacques Lafitte of France, and still 6th, struggling with René Arnoux, is Mario Andretti. Andretti and Arnoux 1 lap behind the leader. Alan Jones has set the fastest time in the race of 1 minute 34.068 seconds, an average speed of 129.989 miles per hour, and he's driven such a quick race today over this 3.37 mile circuit that he should very easily set a brand new record average speed. That's even the more remarkable given the fact that new track surfaces, new patches of asphalt have been laid on the circuit this year just for the U.S. Grand Prix. About a mile's worth, about 4,000 feet. They're very smooth and very slippery. Alan Jones now only a mile from pay dirt, only a mile from his 5th victory of the 1980 season, the 6th victory for the Williams team of Great Britain. It appears his teammate Carlos Reutemann will finish 2nd for a beautiful 1-2 conclusion to the 1980 Formula One Grand Prix season here in North America. There you see Alan Jones coming through, and he's about to take the final 10th and 11th turns on the track and accept the checkered flag for the U.S. Grand Prix victory here at Watkins Glen. The flag is unfurled, and Alan Jones is the winner of the 1980 United States Grand Prix. Alan Jones, the winner from Australia. 2nd, Carlos Reutemann. 3rd, Didier Pironi. 4th, Elio De Angelis. 5th, Jacques Lafitte. Mario Andretti finishes 6th. Now let's go to Victory Circle, and Anthony Marsh talks with the winner, Alan Jones.
That was great fun to watch.
Yeah, it wasn't great fun to do.
Anyway, here we are then, another win. You must be very, very pleased. It really finishes off your championship year.
Rounds it off nicely, yeah, I'm delighted.
Thank you very much, Alan. And now, Rennie Dreyfus will present the beautiful bowl to Alan Jones.
In behalf of the Toyota US, I'm glad to give you a second cup. You got the one for the World Championship. This is a good confirmation. Congratulations to you.
So Rennie Dreyfus, the Grand Marshal, a great French racing driver, the winner of the 1930 Monaco Grand Prix, among many other races, presents the Toyota Grand Prix Winners' Cup to Alan Jones here at Watkins Glen.
Well, there you have it. Alan Jones has capped his World Championship with a win here in the 1980 Toyota US Grand Prix here in Watkins Glen, New York. A fantastic race. The weather turned out great, a great crowd here, and we want to thank each and every one of you for joining us for this great race this afternoon. On behalf of the entire Ms. Lou crew, Anthony Marsh, who is our color commentator, and Paul Mann, our action play-by-play man, this is Don Earl saying thanks for joining us and bidding you goodbye from Watkins Glen, New York.
Coming on many of these stations, NCAA college football bowl games. Check listings for stations in your area. From Watkins Glen, New York, you've just seen the 1980 Grand Prix of the United States. The winner world champion, Alan Jones. This program was brought to you by Toyota, who invites you to see all the 1981 cars and trucks at your local Toyota dealers. Oh, what a feeling to drive a Toyota. And by Valvoline. All kinds of weather, all kinds of driving. Valvoline is the motor oil that's not just for winning races. This has been a feature presentation of Television Sports USA, the Ms. Lou Television Network.